Hey, this is Paul Mazurkiewicz, the drummer from Cannibal Corpse, and you are reading Metallian Magazine. Yeah, thanks for having me. Great to be back in France. It's going great. Great bill. We got, two great bands, Revocation and Aeon, and we're excited to be playing with them guys. We've had some great shows so far, so we're looking forward to the rest of the tour, being some 6 shows like they have been. So, yeah, it's been a great tour. It's a great bill. Just basically what you read. I can't say anything more because there's nothing more to elaborate. What you read is what happened. That's all we know. We put out that big statement, and we weren't able to play shows, and those were the reasons why, and that's all we know. So we're going to leave it at that.
Okay.
So if anybody wants to find out what happened, go to our website or what have you. We made a big statement, and that's all we can really say at this point. Luckily for us, no. That was a stipulation why we ended up going to Russia. I mean, the promoters took a risk, so it's, if anything's going to happen financially, it wasn't going to be on our end. So, but that was that. It happens. I mean, and it happened. So it's unfortunate. The fans lose out. That's really all it comes down to. The fans lose out, and they did. So it's unfortunate that it has to happen in this day and age. So what are you going to do? We move on. That's all we can do. The fans that lost out. So. Oh yeah, we've been doing great for 26 years. I mean, we're still around, and I would imagine. That's why we're still around, because people are buying our records, and they're coming to our shows and all that. So it's been a constant, since the beginning of the band. If anything, we're probably getting maybe a little bit bigger. That dictates record sales. But for the shows, we've had our fans come out, and they've always come out. So we're fortunate to be a worldwide band, an international band that can, get fans to come out in pretty much every city we play. So it's just been an uphill climb, a slowly gradual climb up the hill or up the ladder, but we've been doing our thing for 26 years, and that's just what we do. And, well, like I said, luckily we have a fan base for this, so. It depends, I guess. We got some great shows and great places throughout the world, so that everyone's going to be a little bit different. It's hard to dictate, you can't play a Saturday night in every city, in every country, or a Friday, which it would be ideal. So, it's hard to say, but we know we have, all the shows we go and play are great, and there's great fans, so it's all relative, but, yeah, I don't know. South America's got some great rabid fans. It's just that they're into really heavy stuff. We go down there and the fans go absolutely, berserk. And then you got other countries like Japan where they come to the show, but they're not as crazy as people. So it just depends. But like I said, we're fortunate to be able to go in every part of the world and every country we play in. Fans are there and they've come to see us, whether they're going completely sick off the walls or they're just standing there watching, So we're fortunate, like I said, to have been around this long and to play for, all around the world and to have fans throughout the whole world, so. Yeah, we played with a bunch of different bands. I mean, I'd say in the beginning years we've played with a lot of more death metal bands, but over the years we've done some tours that are mixed tours, maybe not so much in Europe. In the States we do a lot of these. So, there's just so many different kinds of heavy music these days, I mean, and that's good, I guess. It's a big mix of just extreme music, whether, whatever exactly, like you could, the big thing, I guess, on this tour is like Revocation. What are Revocation? We don't know. They don't know. I mean, they're just a mix of everything, They got their heavy, fast stuff, their slow stuff, their rock stuff. I mean, they're a great band, and they're a great adverse, extreme band. So, but that's just the way music has gone over the years, I guess. Like I said, there's just so much diversity now in extreme music, and a lot of it can intertwine, and and this tour seems to be showing that example. Why I believe they have their their fans are coming out, and I would hope our fans would like them as well. But so far so good. So yeah, it's just good to be able to to have some mixes every now and then. You don't want to do every tour being a just a complete death metal package or what have you. So it's good to mix it up. Not really. I just we're old and they're young, so that's the difference. We're with young guys now. We're the old guys. So back when we started, we were the young guys. So I think that's just where we've been around, we've done it. So the difference is exactly seeing younger guys that obviously haven't maybe been on the road very often, and it's a little different. So it's good to see the excitement of bands like that, and it keeps you young too. So that's pretty much the big difference, I guess. Yeah, it's different, what we do for a living is much different than what most people would do. I mean, so yes, music has to take us away from our homes. We've known that since the beginning. That was our dream. It was what we wanted to do. Once you get older and of course maybe have families and your mentality maybe changes in some extent, I mean, it's a little more difficult. I mean, you just got to balance it out. I mean, if you can't, then I guess you're not going to do it anymore. You're going to quit. You're going to do something else. So, I mean, it's just a matter of being exactly in a proper state of mind. Maybe not everybody can do that, but we are fortunate to have that gradual, kind of way of doing it this way. Myself, I'm married now, I have a daughter. I hate leaving her. She's going to be 9. In a few months, but obviously I was in the band well before I met my wife and had my daughter and all this, and this is what I do it for a living. This is my job. So it's one thing if it wasn't my job, yes, maybe it would be more difficult. Why am I out here? I'm not 20 years old. I have a family to take care of. If I can't take care of my family, well, then I guess I can't be out here doing this, because it's not feasible. It just doesn't make sense anymore. So it's hard, yeah, I know she don't want me being gone. My wife don't like me being gone as much, but at the same time, this is what I do, and you just have to be in a different state of mind to be able to make it through, knowing that you're going to be home eventually, and just being happy, I think if those things all fall into place, it's not that hard. If you have a hard relationship, if you have problems personally, well, then things will be more difficult in life in general. So I think, yeah, it's different, but it works. We're making it work, so that's all you can do. Those are things we'll consider. Right now, we haven't, obviously. It's been, pretty much on the go since we started. The older we get here, there's talk of all that. So who knows? I mean, this is what you do. I mean, if we may be able to scale down slightly, who knows? But, right now we're about to, once this tour is finished, this will be our longest European tour like we ever have done, which is crazy to think 26 years in, I mean, you thought this would have happened when we were younger, but, so we'll see how we feel. If we can get all through all these tours and, feel good about ourselves, and, excuse me, who knows? Maybe we'll be able to, do more touring like this. But at the same time, yeah, we're all getting older. So maybe in a year from now, we're like, you know what, we need to cut back because for our sanity, for our health, and all that kind of stuff. So we'll see what happens. Only the future will tell, and we take it day by day at this point. So we'll see. Yeah, of course. I mean, I think I think that's the success in life. I mean, not everybody gets everything handed to them. You got to work for it. And that's just a rule of life. So I think we've all had that mentality. Growing up, starting this band, we all were from backgrounds of middle class, working class backgrounds. You work hard to get where you're at, and yeah, and then we were taught that by our parents and all this. So it's kind of, to us, it's just that's what you do. And it doesn't seem like any other way would make sense. I don't understand. So I think it's a bit of everything: hard work, being at the right place at the right time. Getting a little lucky, all that kind of stuff. Plays into it. But bottom line though, you got to work hard. So I think it shows as well. We're not going through the motions. We're writing music. We love to write. We love playing this kind of music. If we didn't, I think it would be apparent, and maybe you're not getting through to everybody because they can see that. So so we're fortunate to have a big following of fans that know what to expect, and and we know what to expect of ourselves, and I think that's key. So but yeah, you always got to stay working. Otherwise, what? I mean, you're gonna be dead soon enough, I guess. Life's too short. No, not at all. I mean, that's how we work. If you look at all our albums, it's always been a contribution from everybody. So it just depends on the timing of when we're writing and what's happening with everybody. You know, Pat just happened to, the material was flowing more for him this time than ever, you know. So it was, you know, yeah, let's just write songs and see what we got. You know, everybody contributes, and we, you know, when it comes down to the end there, you know, we're squeezing for time. Well, this is what we got. You know, this is what everybody contributed. You know, and maybe, yeah, this time around it happened to be more Pat, you know. But if you look at all our albums, it's been like that way for over the years, really since the beginning, with everybody contributing. So, you know, I think we can all write a Cannibal Corpse record, technically. I mean, we got three great songwriters. I mean, I throw in my little things here and there, you know, and you know, that's what Cannibal Corpse is. So if, you know, if one guy's maybe not doing as much as, you know, he did in the past, well, then luckily there's someone else to, you know, so-called pick up the slack, I guess. So yeah, I mean, it was just, you know, we just wrote songs, whoever was writing, whoever would get them done, and this is what we have for this album. So I think it turned out great. I think it's one of our best, really. I think the songs are incredible. You know, we really worked hard at crafting them and meticulously trying to hone them and you know, get them to where we wanted to be without, you know, I don't know, not that we didn't do that in the past, but I'd say this time more so than, you know, before, just really, you know, fine-tuning more than ever. And I don't know, you know, we're getting older, we're getting better at what we do, I guess. And but yeah, I think everyone's confident that any of us can write, you know. So that's, you know, not an issue, not even a thought, really. Yeah, I mean, I guess that's what we do. You know, it's what happens. You know, that's how Cannibal's always written. We have groove to our stuff. I mean, and I don't really think about it as well. I just, you know, we write to the riff, you know, or what have you, and some feels are going to be more groovy than others, or what have you. But yeah, I think we just like to write good songs, and whether they're going to have groove or not, or just, you know, whatever. I don't even think of those things, really. I just, you know, we just end up doing what we do, and I don't, you know, so, oh, this song has to have that or has to be this. And, you know, it's just whatever, you know, the song dictates, I guess, usually, you know, is what ends up happening. And fortunately for us, we had a lot of groove in there, you know, so. No secret there as well. You know, we just had a great relationship with them. You know, why change? You know, we started with this label. You know, they built us, you know, like we built ourselves, and we were always guaranteed, or not guaranteed, we're just on the luxury of having, you know, creative control with what we do, you know. So that was great. I mean, why fix it? Why change it if it's not broken, kind of a thing, you know? Why fix it if it's not, you know? So we just felt, you know, we had a long contract, of course, to begin with, but at the same time, once, you know, we could have possibly moved on or went somewhere else, but what's the point, really, you know? I don't think it would have mattered, you know. It's not like, oh, well, yeah, we go here, well, we're going to get this or that. I mean, what we got everything we need with Metal Blade, you know. So, and you know, they're like family to us, even though, of course, they're you know, they're our record label, but, you know, we've known Brian Slagle and Mike Faley and, you know, Tracy Vera and all of them at Metal Blade for a long time, and we got a great relationship with them. So, you know, why change it? You know, we felt, you know, there's no point. So. Yeah, I mean, it was cool, something different. I mean, really, Joel MacGyver, the author, got a hold of us a couple of years ago. You know, it was his idea, of wanting to write a book, and we, you know, thought, hey, why not? Something cool, something different. You know, we'd never had a book like that. And then we talked to Metal Blade and, you know, our management, and they all thought it was a great idea as well. So yeah, for us, really, other than proofreading, you know, and making sure it's all what we want it to be in there, it's Joel doing his thing, you know. He's interviewing all of us like this, you know, and we're talking to him about the past and all these things, and then he compiles the book, you know. So really, after doing interviews and then just proofreading, you know, it's not that big. It's not like writing songs for us or coming up with lyrics or anything, you know. We talk, and it's somebody else doing it. So I think it was pretty painless, other than, like I said, having to really just edit, make sure it's exactly what we want in there, you know. For certain things, I don't want to. I said that, I'll take that out, or whatever, you know, or just discrepancies. So, but it turned out great. I mean, Joel did a great job. I mean, you know, some cool insight to the band, and you know, focusing more on the five of us, of course, which has been Cannibal, of course, the most solid lineup we've had, and a bunch of pictures from all eras, and it turned out really cool. But yeah, if it wasn't for Joel probably coming up with that idea, maybe we wouldn't have the book. So I'm glad we did it. Not much. I mean, you know, we haven't talked to Bob Rousset in a long time. He pretty much didn't want anything to do with us after we kicked him out, which was unfortunate. But I think, hey, you know, that hit him that hard where he just wanted away from music and what have you. So we don't have any contact with him. Barnes, we have minimal contact, and you know, nothing really too major at all. You know, just kind of, you know, if it's anything, it's, you know, usually just something minor, you know, frivolous. And Jack, when we see him, you know, I mean, I haven't talked to him in a while, but out of the three, yeah, you know, Jack is probably the, you know, if he walked in today, it would be, you know, just no problem. You know, hey, how you doing? You know, hanging around, and you know, he's when he left the band, it was on different terms than, you know, the other two leaving. So. Yeah, so we see him here and there, but not very often. Yeah, actually, 6 Feet Under, we did that years ago. I think about a year after we kicked him out, we did Walkin', or it was one of those Walkin' where we played like right after him, and then I know there was like another show where we played. Where they played with us in the States as well. It was a while ago, but it hasn't been, yeah, we haven't played with Deicide in years as well, since Jack's been in the band, of course, we haven't played with them, so. But yeah, and then who knows, maybe it'll happen coming up in a festival, who knows, you know, but yeah. It's definitely a club setting like this. I mean, this is where death metal is formed. This is where we're comfortable. This is where it should be witnessed, you know, in a close-knit setting, the fans right in your face, you know, everybody in a hot box or what have you, you know. I mean, that's, to me, and I think most of us, that's death metal, you know. It's great to play at a place like Wacken, just to play in front of that many people on the big stage and all that, but really it's so impersonal, you know. It's not what death metal's about, you know. So I would think, you know, we've had some great shows in that setting, but when it comes down to it, this is what it's about, you know, playing in front of the fans right in your face, and you know, like I said, you know, being maybe it's just a hot, sweaty kind of place or whatever. This is what death metal, where it started. This is where it thrives. This is where it's at its best. So I think that's where are most comfortable in a setting like tonight, you know. Yeah, I mean, it's always a little difficult. The more albums we come up with, of course, you know, we always like to represent, if we can, every album at least, you know, with one song. I think we may have every album represented on this tour, I believe. Yeah, we had to make up a little bit of a different set list. You'll see tonight. I mean, we had to mix it up in order with doing some different things that we haven't done in a while. So if you'll see tonight. I'll leave it at that. But yeah, I think we got a really good set list. Actually, this set list is we're all pretty happy with. Flows fairly well, and it's got a mix, like I said, of everything. And you know, we're very happy for this set list. We're excited to play it. Like I said, it was a long time coming, and some major changes throughout the list with placements of songs and all that. You know, the ones that we may, you know, always play. Well, you know, you'll see tonight. But yeah, I think we got a good one. I think we got a good list. I think the fans enjoy it. Yeah, I mean, I think that's what's key in life. You know, you want to be able to move and do things. You know, and if it starts from, you know, I don't know, getting good sleep and trying to eat at least pretty decent and stay hydrated and all that kind of stuff. You know, so I mean, that's pretty much all I do. You know, when I'm out here, you know, I mean, a lot of the guys will work out and, you know, lift and run and do all that kind of stuff. I mean, for me, as long as I'm playing every night, and like you said, if I get good sleep, I eat well, I drink well, you know, then I'll be all right to play tonight. You know, I don't need to, you know, do much in the sense of working out. I'm not that kind of a guy. Now, if there was a hockey rink down the street, I would go play some ice hockey, of course, but that's what I do for when I'm home. That's what I do for my fun and my exercise. But yeah, for me, it's just been a gradual thing, just doing, if I can maintain this and do this on a daily basis, well then, you know, this is what I built my body up over years to be able to do. So yeah, I mean, not a problem, you know, not a problem. Um, well, I don't don't think so, unless there's something else you would like to hit on. I think we, sounds like you got a lot of good stuff there, so, just appreciate the interview. If it wasn't for the fans, we wouldn't be here, and, we appreciate the support and, keep death metal alive. That's what we need, so.
Excellent.
All right, cool, man. Thank you. Thank you. Hey, this is Paul Mazurkiewicz, the drummer from Cannibal Corpse, and you are reading Metallion Magazine.